Hey, so I've been watching Myron with Nick Fuentes, and there were some major takeaways from the first episode that he did with Myron, and then the After Hours show. And the one thing that I wanted to say that I noticed with Nick and the Fresh and Fit crew was that there was a little bit, maybe it could have been staged, but some intimidation that Nick felt. So with Chris, there was like a little bit of a time when he asked him, do you prefer race mixing and interracial stuff like that? And Nick said, yeah, I'm not really into that. And then there was a little bit of a passive, non-passive aggressive bit of a screwing around with Nick. But Nick held his own, but it was kind of like a feeling like he kind of wanted him to maybe attack him because he's smaller, and it would have been great optics. So I wasn't sure that like it was so much like bad blood. It could have been staged in the sense that like they're like, okay, well, this is going to be the good cop, this is going to be the bad cop, and someone has to push against you to so that way we don't get demonetized. So I see that angle too. The second thing that Nick did in both episodes was he was able to articulate his points, whether you like them or not. He was able to articulate them, and he was able to discuss them, he was able to defend them, and he was able to take minor criticisms. So at one time he said that are black people genetically more inferior in the sense of intelligence? And he said that, and then the people at first, you could tell, didn't quite grasp what he was saying, and then they grasped what he was saying, and then he had to talk about it. And it's not always what's said, it's place, person, and setting too, right? So the fact of the matter is that it was him with Myron and Fresh, and he was sitting there with all these black girls, and you know, in the back of your mind you're thinking like, are one of these people gonna freak out and attack him? So there was that whole thing, and that he handled himself in that situation. Now, do I personally agree with everything he says? No, there are very specific things that I don't agree with, but that's fine because he's not God and he's not a prophet, and no man alive has all the right answers. So, you know, I'm not gonna judge him or critique him for that. But also, if you look at the fact that Myron had this week, what's his name? He had that British guy that's like kind of an Islamophobe, kind of not an Islamophobe, whatever you want to call it. And they talked about a lot of stuff on there too. Charlie Robinson, I think, was his name. And they talked about stuff too. But the Nick Fuentes guy, he's pretty funny. And he also discussed some things about the Yay 24. And he also had some good opinions about what might happen in the election. So overall, I feel like there's people that hate him because they think he's anti-Semitic, and I get that. But if you just, you know, can agree to disagree with humanity in the sense that like you can't agree with everyone, there's that. But what's going on right now is there's a new resurgence going on of truth and the right wing, and it's fragmenting off. And the real question is, could Nick Fuentes be the next president of the United States? Not today, not tomorrow, but maybe in like 20 years. It's weirdly likely, because the thing about Nick Fuentes is that he openly says that he's religious and that he's a virgin. And how much debauchery you do on the earth doesn't make you cooler and doesn't make you a bigger man, but it sure is interesting that he puts on the front that he walks with the Lord and he follows the law. So there's a lot to unpack there. I don't watch every single stream that he does on Rumble, but I do sometimes when I want to see some particular opinions on stuff, I will check him out. So it was interesting to say the least. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.